We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. With us this morning is Josh Horn with Social Security. Phone line's open, 737-7587. If you have any questions, that's the number to call. And Josh is ready to go. We got some calls just waiting for you. Let's go start off with Ronnie. Ronnie, good morning. Hi, Ronnie.
Good morning. I got two questions.
Okay.
Okay. I was married for about 39 years. I wasn't disabled when I married her. She was disabled all her life. And then I was working, and then I got disabled, and then when I got disability, our checks cut down, and we're more like roommates. I love her and everything, but we're just old, and we're barely making it. If we get a divorce, is that breaking any kind of rules? And we're just like roommates.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to break any rules by, as far as we're concerned with, getting a divorce, but you're right. I mean, what you're talking about is SSI benefits. For those of you maybe listening, when you get married, it's considered a married rate, which is lower than the two individual rates combined. And so there are individuals who choose not to get married so that they can continue their, the individual rates. The concept behind that is that if you're married, that you're sharing certain expenses, and that overall the expenses will be less, that you would be sharing one rent bill, or you'd be sharing one utility bill and things like that. So, that is something for you to consider. You might want to call and talk to a Social Security technician and have them actually look at your record and double check everything before you, because that's a pretty major decision. I'd hate to really give you too much advice without looking at the record, but that is something that to consider.
Meaning that if they were to get a divorce, and then they would no longer be married in terms of getting that benefit as a married couple. They would get potentially more money as individuals.
Right, they would be looked at as individuals at that point.
Okay, see, I see what you're talking about, Ronnie. It may be worth looking into. If you guys are still going to live together, but you choose to get a divorce, that changes the category. Not that that's anything Social Security would advocate one way or the other, but for them to do that is not illegal.
Nope.
No. Okay, let's go next to Sheila. Sheila, good morning. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, how can we help you?
Okay, mine is short. I'm 66. I'm on Social Security, and my fiance is on Social Security, and we were told if we got married, it would jeopardize our Social Security check.
Well, that's kind of tied in with what we were just talking about. You wouldn't lose it, but how would that change if they got married?
Well, again, are you drawing Social Security or SSI?
Right.
Because with SSI benefits, which if you're over age 65 and you're on limited income and resources, there are individuals who draw SSI benefits based on their age, but it sounds like what you're talking about is actually Social Security. Yeah, and that really actually wouldn't affect it, because Social Security isn't affected by marriage unless you're talking about survivor benefits, and it's only affected survivor benefits if you're under age 60.
My husband passed in 2016, and I'm 66, and I am on the Social Security.
On his, yeah, that.
And my fiance, he's on Social Security, and a friend of ours told us that, and I thought, that's ridiculous. How can that happen?
Well, what that is if you're drawing survivor benefits off of a prior spouse because they passed away, and you're under age 60, and you get remarried, then that survivor benefits gets cut off because you remarried. But the rule there is that if you're over age 60, that you can continue to draw that survivor benefit.
Okay, I'm 66 and he's older, so it's not going to jeopardize our marriage. I mean, nothing.
Right.
I mean, our marriage, our monthly income.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for your call. Let's see, next up is Tom. Tom, good morning. Hi, Tom.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. I want to speak to Josh. I got a question for him.
All right.
Talking about Social Security fraud there a while ago.
Sure.
Is it fraud if somebody draws a check off of a kid and the kid don't live in the household with them, and they draw a benefit from them? And I'd like to know if that would possibly be a fraud.
Right. There are occasions where some of those circumstances, could potentially be fraudulent. You can report those to OIG or to Social Security, and we can mark that down and take a look at it. However, there are other circumstances where it's not. So I'll kind of explain a little bit more. When a child is drawing benefits, we have to appoint a representative paid to receive those benefits when the child's a minor. And so we look and we have an order of preference, and usually a custodial parent, where they're living at is the first the first choice, but occasionally there's a circumstance where either that's not going to work, or that for whatever reason we can't get somebody who's actually living with them, and so then we look for whoever's next so that we can pay. So maybe a non-custodial parent in certain circumstances. But again, if any of you are out there, maybe you do have the child with you and you don't understand why somebody else is receiving the benefit, you can always go in and apply to be a representative payee for the child, because sometimes maybe custody changes, but maybe Social Security didn't realize or didn't know about it, and so you just need to come in and apply for benefits in those circumstances.
Does that help?
Yeah, pretty much, Nick. It was my grandson. I'm a little concerned because, again, he's living with his grandmother, and she draws SSI, and she's not supposed to have no income and nothing like that. And my grandson's not getting his money like he's supposed to.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can always call and report that. We can take a closer look at it. Again, that would be his income, not her income, so it wouldn't affect her SSI necessarily. But that's, again, if you feel like you're in a better position to manage the benefits, you're always welcome to apply to be the payee.
All right, let's go next to, I think we got Charles. Hi, Charles. Good morning.
Yes, I have a question. I get 2 separate checks because I get my disability and I get part of my father's SSA as his disabled child. And I went to the office. I asked if the second check could be put into a separate bank account. Only they both go into one bank account, and they said no. Why is that?
Yeah, because so you're drawing off of your own record a little bit, and then also off of
fathers, I think.
Off of the fathers. The way they process those checks, from one perspective, it might look like 2 separate checks, but usually it's actually just one payment. There's actually one transaction. And so it'd be very difficult. In fact, I think it'd be impossible to separate those out into two transactions when you talk about the deposit. It's really something I'd have to look at the record to give you a 100% answer on, but most of the time, even though it may look like it's coming from 2 records, it's really just one transaction.
Okay, all right. That's like just a clerical thing then. All right. Next up is Nick. Good morning, Nick.
Hello, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I've got what I think is a simple question. I'll turn 70 in February, and I've been on Social Security for about 4 years now. And I've been told that I no longer need to file taxes if that's all I'm living on, and I'm just afraid not to file taxes. I mean, I never owe anything when I do file. So is there a concrete answer whether or not I have to file every year that I no longer have any income other than Social Security?
Well, I believe there is a concrete answer, but unfortunately I can't give it to you because those are actually IRS rules. It kind of depends on how much the income is, and I couldn't tell you offhand what the minimum amount, what that number is where you don't have to file. I'm pretty sure you have to file, but
whether you work for a living or not, right?
Right. I think you have to file taxes, but you may not. But nothing may be taxable on your Social Security if you're under the certain limits. For an individual, it's about $25,000. For a married filing jointly, it's about $32,000. Where if you're under those numbers, your Social Security benefits are not taxable. But really, those are questions that you need to talk to a tax professional about.
But you're saying your only income is your Social Security check.
Yes, my wife and I are both retired, and the only income we have every month is our Social Security check.
Okay, so if that's just, well, I can tell you this, you're not going to owe anything.
Well, no, I never have, but I'm just afraid to take that leap where people have told me, no, you don't even have to file anymore, you know. So.
Yeah, I don't know about
And
that.
because of that, I don't want to say don't worry. To me, I find it hard to believe, unless there's just some administrative reason, that you would have to. But you need to check that maybe. That would be an easy enough call to the IRS and just say, this is my situation, and they'll tell you. But double check that before you do. There may be a reason just so that you're on board there. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with Medicare or anything like that, just so they have a record of you, and you do it every year. But of course, it won't cost you anything except a little bit of time to fill that out.
All right, I appreciate your help on that. Thank you.
No, thank you, Nick. That's actually a good question. I don't think he's alone in that. And a lot of people may figure, well, hey, look, why bother? I mean, if that's all they're living on, that's under those levels you just said. But again, I know we've touched on that before, and I have with the IRS. And except in extremely unusual circumstances, most of the time, the way I recall it, is that you don't have to. But there could be things that individuals need to check for themselves with their own record. So double check that with the IRS before you stop, because you don't want to do anything to jeopardize your benefit. But I just can't imagine. I can just say this, you're not going to owe anything, so don't worry about it. It just means you're going to have to take a little more time, and each year just fill that sucker out. But double check. Listen, we'll take a break on that note when we come back. Tammy, Mildred, and others, if you're on hold, actually, we've got them on there, and we've got some lines open. 737-758-87 is the number. Josh, ready to take and try to handle all calls as they come in. So we're up until 9. If you're hearing something or you have something in the back of your mind on Social Security, give us a call. We'll be right back.